Uh, Welcome to AMA session, which is dedicated to DAC8. Today we will try to explain what is going on, what is happening, what it means for every crypto user. Um, just let's say the very quick AMA with a lot of information, but don't hesitate to ask the questions at the end of our session. Just a few words about us. Myself, you know, well, I'm the CEO of zondacrypto, but we have got a special guest tonight. I think, Vakhtang, we have never had AMA before together, so would you be so kind to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself and why we are having you for DAC8 tonight?
Thanks. You are correct, Przemysław. This is first time we are talking about in this format. My name is Vakhtang Chkhenkeli. I'm a founder of crypto asset consultancy firm Cryptoethica. And today we will discuss something that was on the horizon for a long time, but only now became really urgent. This is Directive on Administrative Cooperation Amendment number 8, or DAC8 or DAC8, which concerns the transparency in crypto industry. And during our meeting today, we will discuss details, who is affected, who will be reporting, and what you as a user have to do.
Exactly. So now we are ready into the very, let's say, general question. What is this DAC8?
So, DAC8 was adopted according to the crypto asset reporting framework. That is the global framework developed by the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. Aims to fight tax evasion by creating rules for transparency for different financial and crypto instruments. And now time has come for crypto industry because for a long time blockchain transactions were outside of the visibility of tax offices. But right now, since and we have 52 signatories to the crypto asset reporting framework, but European Union is the first one who adopted the directive, and soon member states will transpose into national law this directive that will oblige registered crypto asset service providers and crypto asset operators to record, classify, and report crypto transactions to relevant tax offices. That and they will themselves distribute data to the relevant tax offices around the European Union.
So, what is the goal? Why it's let's say brought as a law? What is the goal of this regulation?
So this approach is not new. If you use any financial institution, such as bank, insurance, or brokerage, your service provider already records your transactions and shares it with the tax office of your tax residency. So the idea of this directive is to create similar rules for crypto assets. So to fight tax evasion and create transparency in this field. Users who are obliged to report and pay taxes will have tax office will have visibility on their aggregate value of transactions. So it's easier to pay income tax or personal tax depending on the jurisdiction and your tax obligation.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right, because from the banking perspective, when you have got a bank account and you're a resident of one of the countries, the European Union members, the tax office, of course, it works better or not that good, depending on on the regulatory. But normally, the bank is sending the information at the end of the year to the tax office of your residency, so the tax office can see what are the transactions on your bank account and if there is a obligation to pay the tax, and can check whether you declared in the correct way. Yes, so the same story here. And the effectiveness. When is it effective? So what is the date where we shall start talking about, or when we shall start talking about DAC8?
So I believe that service providers should have already started talking about and implementing DAC8, but for ordinary user, the date they should remember is 1st of January 2026, when service providers will start collecting the data. Another date that is very important is 2027, when this information will be shared with tax office. So January 1st is the most important date for DAC8 compliance for users and for service providers.
Yeah, I can tell that we are already preparing for DAC8, and we will implement all the necessary software, and let's say everything what is necessary. We are preparing for it because it is for ourselves as a VASP. It is affected from the 1st of January 2026, so we need to start collect the data. But let's say for our users, it is very important who is affected with this regulation, and what are the exchange reports. So who is subject to this regulation, to DAC8?
So we as crypto platform users are, of course, our transactions are reported to the tax office, but we as a users don't do anything. Every obligation is shifted to the service provider. So service provider have to implement additional step for identifying tax residency of the user, and then creating system to classify transactions, which then at the end of the year will be reported to the tax office. But users, if they were users are reporting to tax office or any other body, just as they were doing before. Nothing is changing for the users.
Yeah, it's very important. So what we are working on during the KYC, during the onboarding procedure, and there will be, let's say, the additional data that we are going to obtain and collect from the potential user. It will be the tax number. So we will be able to identify what is the tax residency and the tax number of the user, to be able to provide the data to the concrete reporting area. So the question is, what does this data? What is this data? And what exchange needs to report? What data?
So the most important data that a new data point is tax identification number. So no matter of your citizenship, tax residency is calculated based on another other rules. So exchanges and crypto platforms have to get the data about your tax residency. Where do you pay taxes? This is the first step. Another step will be classifying your users' transactions. So there are four types of relevant transactions for the purpose of DAC8. This is crypto exchange for crypto and for fiat and vice versa. Crypto transfers in, crypto transfers out, and one subtype of crypto transfers out. This is retail transaction, where consideration is for goods and services. So your user is buying goods or services for exchange of crypto assets. And the important thing is that the value of the crypto asset should be more than 50,000 US dollars, no matter
Mhm.
of the jurisdiction. If you are using zloty, euro, or any other currency, the base point is 50,000 US dollars. So those are the transactions that are reported. But of course, those transactions are broken down into number of different transactions, smaller child transactions, let's call this. For instance, crypto deposit may report it as staking reward. This may be a loan or transfer from another regulated crypto exchange, crypto out transaction can be your collateral when you are getting the loan, or if you are putting assets in the staking pool. This transaction will be reported as a crypto withdrawal, and subtag will be collateral staking, transfer to unhosted wallet, to unknown address, or another crypto asset. And same with exchange operations. Every crypto asset will be reported separately and their value in fiat currency for
Yeah,
each
so
crypto transaction.
it becomes more and more similar to the banking transaction reports. So more or less the same, but not fiat, but crypto, yeah, and crypto and fiat. So similar things. And now to debunk some myths. Can you tell a little bit more? Because there is a lot of information in the internet saying that it will have the impact on tax. There will be no security. The data will be shared. So can we explain a little bit more about this?
Yes, I will break my answer into two pieces. One will be about tax obligations, and another about new data points. So, DAC8 as directive doesn't impose new tax obligations. Your tax obligation is determined by your tax residency and their jurisdiction. If you were paying 20% on income, you're paying same amount. Uh, Exchanges won't share P&L data with the tax office. Gross amount, only the transaction amount in euro is reported per, or any other currency reported for each crypto asset. You have to do your own tax calculation and tax payment. No additional taxes are levied on you by the exchange or by the state based on this directive. So if you were using third-party service provider for calculating your taxes and P&L, you have to continue to do the same. Now let's move to security and data privacy. Of course, exchanges have to collect one additional piece of data, and they already had the obligation to protect your personal data or any sensitive data for that matter. So the robustness of the data protection system is paramount. So this is not additional or new obligation. And exchanges won't share any additional data with tax offices except what is already known to them. It will be just confirmation that this user is using this service provider and this is the transaction history. But what's worth mentioning is that balance of the user won't be reported, only transactions. Nobody has access to your balance from the tax office. They don't know your P&L unless you declare, and that's it. This information was available before, but not in the structured way. Now the information will have been the specific format that is machine readable, and it will simplify work for the tax office. But there is no big change for the user.
And what about using multiple exchanges?
This obligation applies to exchanges and not users. So every exchange, sorry, I was saying exchange, but I mean crypto platform. So every crypto platform has to implement this directive, and every platform has to report separately. So we don't have one verification across multiple platforms. So if you are using three different platforms, and you execute different transactions on those platforms, they will report as you as separate user in depending on your where is this platform based, what is the tax nexus for DAC8 purposes, and eventually this data will come to your home tax office, but it will take probably a couple of months.
Amazing. So let's say from our perspective as the crypto exchange, what we do and how we deal with this problem, we have taken actions for the full DAC8 compliance. So we have it in mind that we need to be prepared before the end of the year. And we will provide the improved tools for transaction reports. So we'll help our, let's say, customers to be more familiar with this issue, and it will be very easy to gather the data which is related to tax forms. So I don't think any action from our customers will be necessary. Just one very important issue: we are not preparing your tax declaration. That is not the issue of DAC8 or DAC8. We are just informing the tax office about the actions that has been made above the threshold on your account. So it is not like this, like the, let's say, like the brokerage account that you receive your tax declaration. That happens in Poland, for example. So we just provide the raw data, and you are still obliged to prepare your own tax declaration. So back to you. Yes.
Yes, and one important thing about what users have to do, I think it's worth mentioning that during 2026, exchange platforms have to send their users reminder to update their data, and it will, depending on the strategy, it will happen over time. But only thing and the most important thing those existing users should expect is the email asking them to update their KYC data. That's it.
Yes, exactly. That's what we'll do, because we need to know from our perspective the tax residency and the tax number of our customer. So as we remember, we had the same problems. We had the same Q&A in regards travel rule, and we were very worried about how it will work. And now everyone is familiar with travel rule, and it is nothing which relates to the let's say user experience. The same story will do with DAC8. Even less action on the customer side will be necessary, so no worries. Uh, the very important issue is to update the KYC data, as Vakhtang already said. So we will do our best to remind our customers that it is necessary. Well, we are slowly wrapping up, and we are, let's say, reaching the end of the AMA. Thank you so much, Vakhtang, for all the information and your knowledge. And if there are any questions, I can see that I think everything here is clear. But if our customers have any questions that would like to ask, of course, we'll answer on our chat. So thank you so much, Vakhtang, for having you here. Thank you for the quick and very fruitful conversation. And
Thanks for inviting.
see you next time. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.